Link building. Link building for SEO, grabbing those back links that you're trying to get from other websites. Usually a tougher part of the whole SEO campaign. But today I'm going to show everyone a quicker way, maybe even an easier way to build links. I'm Brent Payne from Loud SEO. Let's go. First step in any link building campaign is you want to try and find either a key phrase or a competitor that you want to mimic their link structure. I prefer to focus on the inbound link structure from a particular key phrase in order to drive the relevancy aspect, especially if you're going to be trying to drive link structure to a specific URL on your website. And the one that I'm looking at today has to do with the search phrase aptitude test. Now, what do we do here? We use the tool. You can use Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, any other tool that you may want to do. And you want to look for the key phrase under the Keywords Explorer section of the site and look at which sites are grabbing the traffic share or really even just a ranking report for the key phrase. Then you'll want to snag the list of URLs that are from this report. Once you've done that, you can focus in on a few of the URLs that really are the type of URLs that you want to mimic. Usually the first or second search result might be the answer. In this case, this is a long informational answer to the aptitude test question. And in this case, I think we're going to compete with aptitude test. So we want to get something closer to here than, say, the informational query. Really just kind of look at what the top search results are, pick the one that seems to be closer to the page that you are going to create to beat out that particular search result and drive inbound link structure to. Once you've determined that, copy and paste it into Site Explorer, and you'll see that we have a URL up here that shows the overall backlink profile. What I've done is a few filters, if you would, to get rid of some of the noise and some of the link structure. I picked 20 as a domain rating. You could pick 30 or any other number, or you could leave it completely open. I like to put some type of filter on here to get rid of all of the really low quality links. In this case, I focused on just those that were lost over all time, just to try and find some that maybe you might be able to regain that had link structure go into one of your competitors. And I've also taken the time to grab all of the links here under the All section and exported those as well. Once you've exported them, you'll see something that looks like this. This is a nice big Excel export of all of the links that are found for that particular URL, and I've formatted it so they can see everything that's kind of there, and you can take a look at the information. Now, what are we going to do with all this information? We don't really want to go through each URL individually, trying to find links and going one by one by one, so we're going to apply some filters to this. The first filter I've applied here are all of the URLs that have been removed. So these are all sites that were linking to that competitive site, and there's just a nice long list of URLs here. So what do we do next? I select the list of URLs, copy it, open up a new tab, paste special values, paste the values, reselect the column A, go to data, remove duplicates, remove all the duplicates from column A, get ourselves down to a list of 1,964 URLs, copy these URLs, and put them in Hunter.io under the new bulk author finder section. So bulk's author finders, not email finder. What's the difference there? Quality of the pages that come out of that. You have much higher quality pages coming from the author finder than you do from the email finder. So now we'll just go up and upload that. Wait for it to run. It's going to be a while. While that's running, I'm going to go back and grab all the URLs that are still active. And that's just kind of reversing the filter. Do the same thing. Copy all the URLs. Open a new sheet. Paste it. Data remove duplicates. Get a list of URLs. Copy those URLs. Paste these new URLs into this list as a new set of URLs. Hit upload. Wait for it to finish. Once that's done, we'll come back. Once your file is ready from hunter.io. Then you can go on here and just download the CSV. I like to pick the full list so I can see the things that they weren't able to find and possibly grab those through other means. Download it. And it looks like this. This is the file you get. So you want to be cautious to make sure you don't have repeat emails in here. You can see there are a couple of them in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy these email addresses once again, throw it over here, paste special, remove duplicates, yada, yada, yada. And it looks like there are, we don't know how many. So there are 30 or so here, 29. And here we're looking at 32, so about 3 duplicates in here. So you want to be cautious about that when you do an outreach. So here's one here we found, etc. At this point, you need to be able to reach out to them relevantly. And that's a part that always is tricky. So how do you do that? You have their email addresses, obviously. You also have some of their LinkedIn profiles over here. You may have their phone numbers over here from this as well. And in some cases, you may get a few other websites that they have written content on that you might be able to utilize. I typically go for the email route. Why? Well, because you can get a decent number of email addresses here, sometimes in the hundreds of thousands, and you can relevantly reach out to them from there. So in this case, you need an email template. What works well? I'll show an example of one that's been working well for us recently, and we can go from there. So here's one of those email templates. What do we have here? First of all, don't reach out from yourself to connect with yourself. We found that it works better when you have someone else reach out on behalf of somebody else within the company. That can be a number of scenarios. If you're a one-person company, you can just set up another email profile instead of a G Suite or whatever other email service you utilize, and reach out from that person's name, introducing the real you. The other thing you can do here is be careful about how you reach out. So a couple things. First name, period, like just quick introduction. And then I noticed that you write a bit of content about the key phrase. Why don't you put in a long list of all the different things that you found? We clearly have them in the URL. You could, if you were to do it, I would do it with a nice, beautiful hyperlink behind that keyword, which really should be the topic. So looking at our topic, it would be aptitude test. I noticed that you write a bit of content about aptitude tests online. You could do that, alter it slightly. Our CEO, whoever that is, let's say, George Johnson, is an expert on this topic. My job is to help him connect with people that may want to interview George or otherwise utilize him as a resource around aptitude tests. May I have your permission to share your contact information with him or her? What are we doing on that line? We are asking for permission to share their contact info. We already have it. We could just connect them, but we're trying to gain some relationships of trust here, and build that trust with the contact. You also get a soft opt-in at that point where they are asking for you to connect them with your CEO. And then the last line, this is the one that we found has been the most powerful in our link building. Please let me know if there is anything George's company, or I can do for you. This really opens things up to look like it's a partnership. Like, hey, I'm just trying to do my job, trying to connect George to people that I think George would be interested in speaking to, and that people that would be interested in speaking to George. The important part down here is the signature. Put the company name, your title, phone number, email address. I would also recommend the physical address down here. What is this for? This is to keep you within compliance of canned spam laws, to make sure that you don't violate anything down there. And you could do an opt-out email. Actually, you should do an opt-out option as well. This really becomes important when you're reaching out to tens of thousands of people, email addresses. but you should do it for every single cold outreach. Keep in mind that there is a difference between spam, actual spam, and perceived spam. So spam, according to the laws, and I'm not a lawyer, but according to the laws, are that you have to reach out to someone after they've told you not to reach out to them. That's where you start getting into legal issues. It's where you get massive penalties, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and other things that could be, pretty scary. The option, though, is that you can still reach out unsolicited email, but if they then opt out, you need to make sure you keep track of that. Number of ways to keep track of it, which is really this tutorial is not going to get into, but make sure you do honor when they ask for an opt-out. What do we use to send the emails? We typically send it small numbers through G Suite. Once you start getting into larger numbers, you will want to utilize a MailChimp or something similar to that. And with that comes a number of nuances that I'm not really going to get into now either. So hopefully this is helpful. I've provided an opportunity to go clear through the entire link building process. This shouldn't take that long for you to do. As you can tell, this entire process took me less than 15 minutes to set up, and each email would probably take another 2 minutes to actually copy, paste, and send it out very relevantly and set up to hopefully get in by link structure. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, brent@loud.us, and we'll go from there. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this tutorial about how you can do link building more effectively and fairly easily.